there we have it. Yeah, you got anything more to say, Nick?
Yeah, I want to ask you guys one thing. So, Justin in particular, because Bobby, I don't know if you were born yet, but 2010, 2010 Game 6 versus the Cavs, did LeBron just quit?
We're talking 2010 against...
Yeah. Well, before he left, before the decision.
Yeah, he pretty much knew he was leaving. I think
the elbow. I was at that game. It was they were getting MSG.
We'll pull this back to now, because we did have that report we talked about at the very beginning of the show, where we'll see if it's true or not. LeBron
I'm just trying to tie it all together.
Yeah, LeBron seems intent on leaving after this season, and what I ask is the focus going to be there if he looks ahead and sees the door at the end of the season, no matter what happens?
Justin and John had a great conversation about this on Celtic Stuff Live this week. And, I think one of you guys had brought it up about, is it one of those moments where LeBron, like in 2010, already has one foot out the door and they get into a series with the Celtics, and just like in 2010, he throws his hands up in the air? You guys discussed that this week, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think this thing's a train wreck. I mean, it's already at that point.
It's bad.
And it is. And I think a lot of Adrian Wojnarowski had an awesome article this week about it, just talking about the position that the Cavs are in. He's basically said that the team is already at a point where they realize that they can't sacrifice Kyrie Irving for nothing just to satisfy LeBron, because ultimately they won't get what they need in return to keep LeBron. And so, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If they get pennies on the dollar or pieces for the future, and LeBron's in the postseason trying to carry this team and it just doesn't happen, and the Celtics look poised to really take advantage of that, you're absolutely right. I think LeBron's already got one foot out the door. He's not really great at keeping quiet. When they got rid of David Griffin, huge mistake, right? Like, he'll leak stuff out. He doesn't care to let
everything was fine before
that. Yep. And there was
think LeBron didn't orchestrate that. Don't think LeBron didn't orchestrate that. And the other thing too is
hold on, one other thing. Don't think LeBron isn't thinking major market to close out his career.
Of course that's what he's thinking.
Because it's his last. I mean, listen, nobody is going to do what Jordan did post career ever again.
No. Or Magic for that matter. Or Magic.
Or Magic. But there's not going to be, the LeBrons. There's not going to be a sneaker that goes out and rolls the way that the Jordans have held on, right? They're still selling those. That is an institution. LeBron's not going to compete with that. Will he still have prominence? Will he still have a play? Yeah, of course. He'll still make money. He'll still be long, they'll see LeBron until the day he dies around this sport for sure. But will he make money the way that LeBron did the way that Jordan did off endorsements and whatnot? No. And I think this is his last real cash out. And especially if he goes to LA and then all of a sudden the Golden State Warriors and the Spurs and the Lakers are all battling, it raises his profile. He's got to be feeling like in the Eastern Conference, everybody is just waiting for us to get to the finals and see what we can do. Yeah. And, they want that regular season hype.
And I'll say this, too, about this whole situation. It's not 2010 where it was really bad in Cleveland. You look at the team then, you look at the team now.
No, I don't want to hear that. Wait a minute. Cleveland in 2010 had 62 wins. They had still a semi-good Shaquille O'Neal. Everybody's going to laugh because he was a turd, as you guys like to put it. But Mo Williams made the All-Star game, I think, that year. He did one of those years in there. They had Varejao, they had a 60-win team. I don't want to hear, and I'm still arguing this 7 years later. I do not want to hear LeBron James was a goof. He was playing bowling. Remember, Justin, they used to play bowling and pretend the other guys on the team were the bowling pins. Everything was a joke. It was a foregone conclusion that Cleveland was going to march to the finals, and the Celtics shocked them, and LeBron gave up, and that was that. But don't say that team was bad. They were not, and I'll get beat up on CelticsBlog for this, I'm sure.
Hold on, YouTube. They weren't good like the teams of today are good with all the loaded talent.
No,
but
hold on,
better. If you take it in context, did he have a supporting cast? No, but that was when he knew. Yeah, so
you gotta have multiple superstars.
And that was
Now
the beginning of that. Now, because of what the Celtics did, which is why he was frustrated. Right. And if he did give up, he gave up because he realized that there was no way he was going to be able to do it without, to Bobby's point, another superstar. You know, without a Kevin Love, without a Kyrie Irving. They had Ray Allen, they had Paul Pierce, they had Kevin Garnett versus the best man in basketball in the universe. Right. And he could not will that team to that victory. And that is, if I give up, maybe more like had a realization.
Remember, he took off his jersey at the end of the game. It was like through the jersey. Don't forget, guys, he changed his number at the beginning of the season because Miami had already retired 23. Then he goes back to Cleveland and takes 23 again. I mean, come on. He was talking. Him and Pat Riley were having late night text sessions. They were talking all season long. And that's conspiracy theory, but I'll put my stamp on that. I believe that's true.
If they didn't talk directly. They talked through somebody who's allowed to talk, and that's not really a hard thing to do.
Right, not at all. And, you know, we saw it ourselves with the Celtics now. We know there was something there with Hayward all along, and it came to fruition. That stuff happens. So
well, I will tell you this. Wait, before you cut, I will tell you this. Chris Sheridan broke the LeBron heavy rumors in 2010, again when he left Miami for Cleveland, and he did it again tonight.
Well, we already it's August, and we already have this. I mean, what does that say about this upcoming season?
It is going to be a circus.
Camp's not even here.
It's great news for the Celtics. Great news for the Celtics. Great news for Hayward. And you know, who knows? Shock the world, baby. Shock the world.
And we'll keep an eye on Irving because that still is a big deal with what happens with him. If those big three are back, it's still going to be tough no matter what happens.
Let me ask you this. If Kyrie, if LeBron, which we already knew he wanted the trade, but now it's public, he wants the trade, does Kyrie stick around and hope to have the team with Kevin Love to himself? I mean, he wants more touches, right? He wants control of the team.
Well, that's the ideal situation for the Cavs, but I also don't think you can trade LeBron. It's tough because if you know LeBron's leaving, you want to hand the team off to Kyrie next, but that's going to be tough with the situation they have right now.
They are already done him dirty. Irving is gone. It doesn't. They do that, and then he just thinks they're a bunch of babies, right? He thinks they don't have any balls.
Well, in that
even though everybody else, I know, but that's what I'm saying. But even then, he still thinks he's like, no. So now you guys don't. You got no cojones. He won't respect them if they do that. You're right. It's what needed to happen. It's probably what should have happened, but it won't keep Kyrie Irving in town either. They've got a world of crap to deal with. They're probably best off keeping LeBron, gutting the rest of the team, and making LeBron deal with the mess that he just created. Right? That's what I would do. That's what I would be like, you know what? You're leaving anyway, dude. We're gonna move on.
And I'll close it off with this. Why did he sign a 2-year deal? I mean, he did the ones for so long, and now that's just really holding him up now.
That's really the 2-year deal is the way that everybody's going now. I mean, because they're able to then touch on that last max contract. And again, I'm not going to...
Bobby Manning, that's Nick Gelso, and Justin Poulin. You can hear us all on the CLNS Media app. Celtics Stuff Live. Nick was on Celtics Beat talking about 08, as we've done this week. What else would we do? And... find us on CelticsBlog. Now, finally start to count down the days until training camp Thursday. The day this is coming out, 2 months to the day of opening day. They keep the calendar tight. It spins around real fast, and that's how we love it around here. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Justin.